My friends, on this channel, I get a lot of questions about dating and various aspects about meeting girls. I also get a lot of questions about how to stay safe. Well, we're about to discuss a controversial new video because I think there's a lot to learn from it. So stick around until the end of the video to find out how you can keep from making mistakes that can mess up the entire rest of your life. And one thing I'd like to say is, people make mistakes, especially young people, so please keep that in mind when judging things. But it's been said, a fool learns from his mistake, a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So let's get to it. Your favorite social media star is a rapist. Trigger warning. So I guess now we're all imagining our favorite YouTuber committing a horrific crime. Let's find out what this is all about.
You know what sucks is that turning my camera on for this video, I know I might get accused of wearing too much makeup. When I'm wearing just as much makeup as other girls, any amount of makeup that you wear does not affect who you are or what should happen to you. Just because I like to wear lipstick doesn't mean you should sexually harass me.
You see, what she's doing here actually, it's creating a straw man argument. She's creating an argument to make good points against, but this argument doesn't exist. I've never heard a guy say, oh, this girl wears lipstick or makeup, so it's okay to rape her. I don't think I've ever met anyone that actually believes that.
Hey everyone, it's Clarissa and I'm coming at you guys today with kind of a crazy, really weird video. I'm going to try to be as upbeat throughout this video as I possibly can be, but I'm going to be talking about some really, really rough things. If you guys are watching this right now, please share this video, pass the link around, Twitter, Instagram, your family, your friends, wherever you can, with whoever you can, and be sure to give it a thumbs up so more people can see this video.
Well, there you go, guys. Be sure to favorite the video, thumbs up it, all that good stuff.
Because I really want people to hear about the things that go on behind the scenes sometimes. A lot of people wouldn't talk about these things. I'm a savage, so I'm here to talk about these things. I'm here today to talk about the things that certain people on social media have done. I'm gonna be doing some exposing! Yay! I'm gonna start out with the least insane of these stories. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna dive right into stories about the most followed guy on social media. I'm pretty sure that this dude is like the most followed guy.
The most followed guy on social media, would that be Justin Bieber? Would that be The Rock? So I guess we're gonna find out something terrible about one of those guys.
Out there. Like, you probably follow him, you probably know who he is, and you probably think he's a great, wonderful, fabulous person, and he's actually the kind of person who locks girls out on his balcony in the freezing cold weather at night for several hours, for 4 hours I think it was, and tells them that they can't come back inside into his apartment unless they take off their shirt. He's also the kind of guy who likes to send girls DMs like, you should come over sometime so we can fuck, or hi, you're sexy, I wanna fuck you. Excuse me, what?
Well, there's something called a wolf in sheep's clothing. It sounds like this guy is a wolf in wolf's clothing. Really, maybe you should be thanking this guy in a way because he's letting you know exactly what type of guy he is and what he wants. So of course she's about to go over to his house after getting these messages from him.
Just because you have all these millions of followers doesn't give you the right to disrespect women like that. And it also doesn't give you the right to, the first time that I meet you, ask me if I want to have a threesome with you and your best friend. I'm sorry, boy. What is this? I don't know what this is, but it's not okay, okay?
What is this? Seems pretty blatant about telling you this.
So I walk into this dude's apartment the first time that I met him, and he literally sees me. He knows I'm with his best friend. He knows that I'm just chilling there with his best friend, and that I like his best friend, and his best friend likes me. And he sees me, you know, oh my god, you're so beautiful, you're so sexy. And I was like, okay.
I'm sure that that's totally what he sounded like. Really good impression. I'm sure that nails it.
And then he proceeds to take off his goddamn shirt and lay on top of me. Okay? On top of me. Why? Why would you do this when I'm there with your best friend? His best friend was literally trying to push him off of me. This was my first impression of this dude. And you know, most girls...
I thought you got messages from this guy saying these things. Now you're saying this is your first impression. There's a few things that are a little unclear in this story.
Really excited to be meeting him. Yeah, oh, you know, let's get a meet and greet picture. Oh my god, he kissed me on the cheek. Wow, special. No means no. I told the guy no. He proceeds to lie on top of me. Where do you get the idea that that's okay? I'm so sorry, but like, does no mean, oh yeah, no, but like, come at me. No, I didn't even say it that way. And it shouldn't matter how you say no. Even if you say no, it should be, okay, cool, no, bye. Like, I'm not gonna mess with you. I'm not gonna harass you. But this dude proceeded to lie on top of me, okay? On top. Like, shirtless. No. That's just dude number one.
Well, it sounds like this guy sends pretty vulgar, blatant messages to girls. So maybe, I'm not saying what he did is right, but it shouldn't be so surprising that when you go over to a guy's house like that, that he's going to come on a little strong, a little aggressively. But she said that's the weakest of the 3 stories. Let's move on to the next one.
In this compilation of stories. So this guy did those things, did other things, which I'm not going to mention in this story time because I'm going to be moving on to another very big social media star. He's one of the biggest YouTubers right now. He's very, very successful. Literally millions of girls and guys look up to him as their idol. You know, he's so great, fabulous, whatever. This guy raped my friend. He raped her. Nobody seems to think that this is a problem just because this guy is well known and every girl should want him. What if you
So this guy's well known, famous, so no one thinks it's a problem that he rapes girls?
tell him no and you're really not interested and he proceeds to force himself on you? How is that okay? How is that okay just because he has Instagram followers and he has some...
It's not okay to force yourself on girls because you have Instagram followers, at least not to my knowledge. I've never met anyone that is aware of that phenomenon.
Version of fame that makes him important enough that you don't want to offend him by talking about the things that he does that are so wrong. I was at a party with my friend, we're gonna call her Susan. So Susan and I walk into the party. Seems totally normal, seems really great, seems really fun. You know, fun people, good music, good times, whatever. We're not drinking, we're not doing anything, we're just chilling, listening to the music. And I remember, I was there with 2 friends actually, Susan and one other girl. And I remember turning to the other girl at one point and going, where's Susan? Where did she go? I have no idea. The other girl had no idea as well. We both thought it was normal, you know, maybe she went to use the restroom. But then as time went on and she was gone for longer and longer, we started to get a little bit worried. So I actually went upstairs because this guy lives in a very big house. And I went upstairs to go, you know, see what was up. And I remember one of the bedrooms was locked. I couldn't go inside and I heard noises coming from inside and I heard a girl saying no over and over and over again. And I recognized that girl's voice as Susan and there was nothing I could do. My friend told me I was overreacting.
You heard your friend being raped in a locked bedroom while you stand outside the door and there was nothing you could do. So apparently she didn't have a cell phone to call the police. She's at a party full of all these other people, these famous YouTubers, and she couldn't go and tell someone else what's going on and have them check it out for us, but there was nothing she could do, I guess. By the way, she's given an interview since then and seems some of her details in these stories have changed a little.
You know, she's probably just saying no and she doesn't really mean it. When she came out of that room, I knew something wasn't right. She wanted to leave the party. She wanted to leave the party and she's the kind of girl who would literally beg you to stay and want you to turn up more because that's what she's like. But she came out of the room and she told me, we have to leave. This is too weird. This is too awkward. I don't like it here. I'm not having a fun time. We need to leave. And I remember looking into her eyes and seeing that something was so not right. And so I told my other friend,
It was so not
said,
right.
we're leaving. We have to go. And we left. And my friend told me what had happened in that room. And basically, this influencer pushed my friend, Susan, into the room where this happened and forced her on the bed, pushed her over the bed, and ripped her pants off, ripped her underwear off, and raped her. My friend didn't even seem to think that anybody would consider this bad. I remember talking to her about it and asking her why she didn't want to tell somebody, and she said, oh, you know, they're all gonna believe him. They're not gonna believe me because he has followers. He has the power. He is liked by people. They're gonna believe him. If I go...
Yeah, I'm sure if you go to the police department, they're going to check out the guy's YouTube channel and see how many subscribers, and they're going to be like, oh, there's no way this guy could possibly rape someone because he's a YouTube star. I'm sure the police would just reject that and not believe you because this guy's famous. Especially this happened in Los Angeles, where I'm sure that the police are going to be starstruck by some young YouTube kid. So, but you didn't even try, apparently, to go to the police because you just know that the police aren't going to do anything. Now, police do mess things up, and sometimes they do bad things, and sometimes they don't care. But you didn't even try to go that route you're just assuming that because this guy has lots of subscribers on YouTube that nothing's going to happen, so let's just bury it. Okay.
And I try to say that this happened, nobody's going to listen to me and they're not going to care.
No one would care, not even her parents, other concerned friends, even other people in the YouTube world. You've given other interviews since you've done this video saying that everyone at these parties were huge, mega social media stars, including the friend that you're talking about. No one's going to believe them just because this person has a certain amount more subscribers. Okay, sounds plausible.
True. If she were to have gone to somebody who is in this whole social media circle or who knows who this guy is, they would have said, oh, you know, you're probably asking for it. You're probably wearing a too tight dress. Maybe you didn't really say.
You're making assumptions. You're imagining of what people would say if you told them about this. Again, it seems like you're making excuses for not doing anything. You're making broad assumptions that no one's going to believe her without even trying, just because this guy has lots of YouTube subscribers.
No. If you say that you didn't want somebody to do something to you and you tell them no over and over and over again, one no should be enough. One no is all it takes to make something not okay. It should.
I agree with you, and I think the overwhelming majority of people would agree with you, but you're saying that people don't believe this because this guy's a YouTube star, so.
It shouldn't be, oh yeah, you didn't scream and kick and cry loud enough. It shouldn't be, oh yeah, your dress was too tight and you were wearing red lipstick, so it's your fault. It should be, okay.
Again, back to the straw man argument of she was wearing lipstick, so people are going to believe it's okay to rape her.
This happened. This isn't right. How are we going to fix it? But that's not how it works. That's not how it always works. And that is so wrong. And that's why I want to talk about these things, because more people need to know that this is not okay, and that if this happens to you,
people know that rape and sexual assault is not okay. It happens, but they also know robbery isn't okay, but that happens.
You should tell somebody. Just because somebody is important doesn't mean that everything they do is okay.
Yeah, we agree. You should tell somebody, but you and your friend didn't tell someone until now.
You still have to be a good person. You still have to live by some kind of rule. And no means no. And what he did to her on that night is not okay. So for anybody who's wondering, my friend is still working.
Something that I find interesting, just to take a break from her telling these stories, is I look over at the related recommended videos here, and there's another video by her right here. That's the title is Getting Naked with Strangers, not clickbait. Just something kind of interesting that I noticed. Apparently she likes to get naked with strangers, not clickbait. And then she's kind of wondering why she ends up in these weird situations. It's kind of interesting.
Through what happened, and this guy is still, you know, growing on YouTube and considered a great guy and an inspiration. You know, whole families follow him and think he's great, and they have no idea that this is what he does.
Yeah, this guy's still growing on YouTube, as you put it, and people are looking up to him as an inspiration. But why shouldn't he be growing? Why shouldn't he be moving on with his life? This guy, not only has he apparently not been convicted of a crime, apparently he hasn't even been charged with a crime based off of your story.
Moving on to the last story. This is going to be the story of what happened to me. And this is something that I've not really talked with anybody about. I'm literally getting goosebumps as I'm trying to say this in front of the camera. Cool. Okay, great. Yeah. In a nutshell, what happened to me is I was roofied. I was at this influencer's house. He has many millions of followers. He's considered important by a lot of people just because he has followers, not because he's a good person, just because he has followers, you know. He's got followers.
Well, apparently you thought he's a good enough person to go to his house because he has all these followers. So apparently you're one of them in the group thing.
He's got fangirls. He must be a great person, right? So up until this point, this guy...
Sounds like you were one of this guy's fangirls.
I had been sexually harassing me. And at the time, I didn't...
What? This guy had been sexually harassing you?
Realize that what he was doing was so wrong because I thought it was, you know, kind of normal because the only guys that I knew, just because he has followers, you know. He's got followers, he's got fangirls, he must be a great person, right? So up until this point, this guy had been sexually harassing me. And
this guy had been sexually harassing you. but you're telling me as soon as he invites you over to his house, you jump on the chance to go. At
the time, I didn't realize that what he was doing was so wrong because I thought it was, kind of normal because the only guys that I knew, because I just moved to LA, were like this guy. So I thought...
You just moved to LA to become rich and famous, and you're surprised that you're meeting a lot of these types of guys, okay?
Oh, he's just like everybody else. Everybody else out here is like this, get used to it.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. There's a lot of snakes in the grass out there.
Clarissa. But what he would do is not normal and it's not okay. He would literally rip my clothes off and drag me halfway up the stairs. And I thought it was okay because when I would tell my friends, they'd say, oh, that's just him messing around. That's not just him messing around when I was telling him no over and over and over and over again. And he would still always be around. Always be grabbing me, always be threatening to unzip my clothes in front of everybody and embarrass me. He'd grab me under the counter. He'd force me into rooms and I'd have to literally push my way out of them. And on this night, for some reason, I decided it was a great idea to, take some water from him because I wasn't drinking. I never drank and I wasn't drinking at this party, at this night, at this guy's house. And I remember looking around this guy's kitchen while I was just...
Well, I have to say what she's talking about here, that's really a good thing that she's pointing out. She's saying no to alcohol. I think that's a great thing in terms of safety. So many people tell me how they'll come in, they'll do something like fly to the Philippines, meet complete strangers, get blackout drunk with them, and when you're doing that kind of stuff, it's like you're just kind of asking for something bad to happen. So I actually commend her very much on saying no to drinking alcohol at these parties, especially since apparently she's underage.
Standing there and I was really thirsty. So I was looking around, I asked, does anybody have any water? Where can I get some water? And I remember him shoving a red cup in my face and saying, here's some water, drink it. And I remember taking that cup from him and just feeling like something was very, very wrong. But I didn't want to offend him because I was too scared of...
Should have listened to your instincts, but it's good that you're talking about this. And there's so many, this is a very serious subject that more people probably should be made aware of, even though when I was in college, it seemed everyone was very much aware of it. I even knew big, strong guys that if they were at a party or a bar and they had to go to the bathroom, they wouldn't leave their drink. They would always have their drink. They would keep their eye on their drink. But a lot of people don't know that, especially maybe young people, maybe now. So I think it's really good that she's bringing attention to this, and I do commend her for that.
Doing something that was wrong. So I took the drink from him and it was water, but it didn't taste right. And I remember drinking half of that glass, and then around 30 minutes later, I started to feel like I was outside my body. I started to not be aware of where I was, of who I was, of what I was doing, and then I started to black out. And I woke up the next morning and I had the taste of vomit in my mouth, and I still don't know what happened on that night.
Well, she drank this drink and she blacked out and she doesn't know what happened, but she does say she got raped. I guess she's sparing us the gory details of how that happened, so I guess we'll have to just choose to believe her or maybe not believe her, whatever your prerogative is.
Because I only remember part of it, but that happened to me. It wasn't even just that he did this to me or that he roofied me. It was my first time. And
I'm not really sure if that means our first time getting drugged like that or something else, but...
And that's how it happened, so... Now the world knows. Yeah, so this guy does these things and he gets away with it because of who he is, because of who he knows, because people think he's important, and because they wouldn't listen. A lot of girls feel scared to talk about what has happened to them because they're afraid of people saying they were wearing too much makeup. They're afraid of people saying, your boobs are out, your dress was too tight, you were asking for it. Nobody's ever asking for it if they specifically say no. I remember telling him no.
Yeah, these are all points that I don't think you'll find many people arguing against.
I've done a lot of exposing today.
Actually, no, you haven't exposed anyone. These guys are still, assuming that what you're saying is true, these guys are still on the loose, and you haven't really warned people so other girls could be falling into this trap.
You should always be aware of who you're following on social media. It's really hard to know who somebody really is online because so many people are so fake, and that's why
we don't really know who you are, and a lot of people have questioned this story. So,
why I will always be real with you guys, and that's part of why I feel like I had to share this, because this has been on my heart for a while. Be careful of who you're following. Be careful not to hold somebody up on a pedestal just because they have followers and they look cute in photographs. You never know. Your favorite social media star could be a rapist. That's it for this video.
well, what she just said there about YouTubers being fake, that's something I totally agree with. A lot of these people are very different. I'm not just talking about maybe they up the energy in their personality to make their videos more entertaining. There's people that will preach the gospel to you and then they'll live like almost a completely double life. So that's something I totally agree with you. There's so many social media and YouTubers, they're completely fake. And the thing is, it's kind of funny how she's saying that basically all these other YouTubers, they're fake, they're like liars in a way, but she'll always be real with us. Well, usually people that go around saying that, oh, I'm honest, I'm so honest, usually those are the people that you got to look at lying, and people that are honest don't say anything one way or another about it. But she's making good points about it. That's something that I've often found. As someone that's been in that Hollywood world a little bit, and been in the YouTube world around big YouTubers, they say that Hollywood people are so fake and plastic, but I think YouTube people generally much more so. So that's a point that she's making. That I totally agree with. And there's been some updates to this story since it's come out. One of which is she was criticized because she doesn't reveal the names of these terrible guys that did this, but she tagged a couple popular YouTubers in the video tags, and other people questioned, was that the guy that did it? It's almost like she indirectly accused these guys, but she had to later come out and say they didn't do it. I only tagged them to get more views, and I only tagged them because I wanted their audience to see this. Well, if you really wanted to spread awareness to their audience, I think a better thing to do would be to contact those guys and say, look, this is what happened to me. I'd love to come on your channel and we can talk about it. You can interview me about it. Instead of just tagging guys that fit the description and then accusing people of horrible crimes. Of course, that's an indirect accusation that these guys did it, and it seems she's only sorry because she got caught. She had a follow-up video and she said something very interesting. Let's take a look at that.
I really understand just what a horrible, messed up system this is. Many times, even when a rape is reported, the police can't do anything unless you have any evidence, and most of the time, girls don't have any evidence, and that is so wrong because there are still people walking around who aren't locked up, who do these things, and it's so not right.
Yeah, just think about what she's saying. She thinks that it's wrong that police can't arrest someone unless there's actual evidence. You should be able to make any claim against anyone with no evidence and have them arrested. Next thing she's going to be saying is they should go straight to jail without even a trial. I mean, think about it. And this girl is old enough to vote. And that's what's scary. People like this that have these philosophies that want to sidestep the law and think that it's okay to arrest men without evidence. Those are people that are voting. This is kind of the future of our country in some way. At least if people with this mentality are large enough in numbers, and that's something to really think about. That scares me. So always remember that, guys. There's a lot of people out there that think like this. You're guilty until proven innocent. Let's take a look at the other types of videos, just out of curiosity, that she has on her channel. Clarissa May. Let's see here. It got everywhere. Well, that's very provocative looking thumbnail. My abusive mom. Trigger warning. Something I was actually wondering about. Where was her father? Her father lets her move to LA to become rich and famous and doesn't warn her about the type of people in this world. Maybe she doesn't have one. Who knows? Getting naked with strangers, not clickbait. Crazy, dirty Q&A of her in a bikini top. You just see these. Crazy Las Vegas rave weekend. Getting an illegal tattoo at age 17. Trying on swimsuits. Okay, well, I think we get the point. We kind of see someone I want you to meet as she's kissing him. Kind of sounds a little like what she talked about in one of those stories, but So she's putting out this image, and just because you put out a sexual image and you do this kind of outrageous titling and things like that, of course it doesn't mean that you deserve to be raped or assaulted. No one's saying that, but you got to understand too that you're making yourself more likely to go in these situations and maybe be, especially when you're hanging out with young, sleazy guys. And let's face it, maybe a problem that society needs to address is giving a ton of money and fame to a young 20-year-old guy. Maybe that's going to create a bad person. I'm not defending any of these people that she talks about. I totally believe that when she goes to these parties with all these young YouTube stars, they're terrible people. It's almost like you can't not be a terrible person. When you get that much fame and money, it's going to do something to you psychologically, but that's a problem that maybe society needs to look at. So I think that, you know, maybe she could have done a little bit more to avoid this. Like, for instance, if a guy's really sexually harassing you, don't go over to his house. But what does this mean for you? Well, first of all, guys, if you have a daughter, this just reinforces that young girls, of course, they can be very naive. All young people make mistakes. We definitely shouldn't be too hard to judge them. But if you have a daughter, be sure to talk to them about these types of things so you can avoid these situations. I always say, because I get a lot of questions about how to stay safe, I would say the best way to stay safe is just do a little bit of preventive measures. Use a little bit of good judgment. Don't allow people to pressure you into something. Don't be afraid to say no, that you're going to hurt someone's feelings if someone asks you to do something you don't feel comfortable with. So that's step number one. Talk to your daughters especially, and if you don't feel comfortable about something, just don't do it. Don't worry about hurting people's feelings. Now guys, so many of you guys, you want to date girls, you ask me questions about dating, relationships, hooking up with girls, what have you, and I've seen a lot of cases, especially a lot of people here since I'm based mostly in the Philippines right now. There's so many guys that go to the Philippines, they want to have some fun, whatever, and before they know it, a girl accuses them of rape. Not necessarily because they did it, because they want to extort money out of them. I've seen a lot of guys, not just here but in the US, they've had people make false claims against them, and when so many people in American society have that attitude that you're guilty till you're proven innocent, well, you should be very cautious of the types of people you're hanging out with, even females. And I know there's a lot of guys that are saying, Travis, you're talking about guys that are rich, famous. That's what she's talking about in the video. I'm no one important. I live a low-key lifestyle. Well, I can tell you that might be the case now, but you never know what your future holds. I've seen guys that were losers their entire lives and they have no positive outlook. They can't even imagine. But sometimes crazy things happen where your entire life changes. Sometimes people win the lottery. A relative leaves them lots of money. More commonly, I've seen a lot of guys that have spent their entire lives as losers, as a nobody, but then they meet just one guy that's successful, and before you know it, he starts to elevate them, and before they know it, somehow now they're a success. So you got to be very careful about who you're hanging out with. You could just one wrong move that you make, or even if you don't make a wrong move, if you're accused of a wrong move, that can totally destroy the rest of your lives. But you guys can leave your comments what you think of how you think that you can avoid these situations, whether you're male, female, that kind of thing. So I look forward to hearing your comments and suggestions, my friends.